Hello everybody, welcome to part 2 of my 4K collection. We kick off on this part with season 2 of Westworld on 4K. A nice embossed W there on the front of that rather sturdy box which they supplied with season 2. Very nice inside, as you can see from the picture there. And it's only when we got to season 3 last year where they went horribly askew when they brought this thing out. Which, quite frankly, although the season was excellent, the presentation on 4K Blu-ray did leave an awful lot to be desired, as you can see. That's pretty abysmal, quite frankly. So I hope they do better with the next season. That's if there is a next season, of course. Then we move on to the US 4K release of Gladiator. Fantastic transfer, this great Ridley Scott film. Very much loved from the 2000 year. And now we move into the Marvel. So we have the UK 4K box set. I'm going to show you that now, as you can see, from the Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, The Amazing Spider-Man, etc. And as you can see, very nice embossing there on Spidey on the front. Very nice set indeed. Now we're moving on to the rest of the Marvel movies in no particular order, I have to say, because they're just a bit mixed up. So we start with the Iron Man trilogy. Nice slip covers they brought out for the 4Ks on these. This is Iron Man. And then we have Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3. I'm not going to rate these films. Too many people have done rankings on the MCU films, so I'm not going to waste my time on that. Nice box set here with the Captain America trilogy. Captain America, of course. Captain America, the Winter Soldier, Captain America Civil War. Very nice embossing there on the shield on the front as well. Very nice set. Then we move on, of course, with Avenger movies. We have Avengers Assemble. Of course, that got renamed a little while after. Then we have Avengers Age of Ultron. I watched this back recently just for the Wanda Maximoff and Petro storyline. I just wanted to see it again because I'd actually forgotten a little bit about it, to be honest. It's been so long since I watched it. Then we have Avengers Infinity War, and of course, wow, what a film. Avengers Endgame. I know everybody knows, the biggest grossing movie in the entire history of film. Absolutely incredible. Then we have the Incredible Hulk. Just couldn't get this one with a slip cover. It's just so hard to track down. And to be honest, any I found with slips were about 50 quid each. Too expensive. It's not worth it for the film anyway. This is my only 4K steelbook. And I got it because I had a 3D disc in it, because I did have a 3D TV originally. This is Spider-Man Homecoming. I think that it's a lovely looking steelbook. This really, really pretty. And it's the only one. I'm not a mad fan of steelbooks. I'm not keen on them. Even though the designs on them are beautiful, I just don't like them. I prefer the original Amaray case with the slip covers, to be honest. Each to their own, as they say. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, very clever little thing this. I hope they make another one. It's very, very good. The animation's superb on it. Then we have the American release of Spider-Man Far From Home. This is the American slipcover for Venom. I think the UK version was slightly different on this. Guardians of the Galaxy. Had to wait an awful long time for this to come out in the UK. I was tempted to buy it at about £30 in the US because it came out far earlier than the UK releases. In fact, that did Ant-Man and, of course, Doctor Strange. All were very late coming to the UK. But I held out and just waited for the UK release of that. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Which incidentally came out before Guardians of the Galaxy in the UK, which is crazy. It's Deadpool 2. Not even Deadpool 1 got a release in true 4K. Then we have the Thors with their slipcover. Thor The Dark World. Everyone hates this film. Well, not everyone. I'm on the shelf with it. Thor Ragnarok, which is superb. And I did give in because I love Doctor Strange. It's one of my favourite MCU movies. I love it. And I did buy the US release, as you can see from the red band at the bottom there, and the old too typical sticker on the front, which I left on there. I just had to have it, and I couldn't wait, so I got the US of that. Got the UK of Ant-Man in 4K. Ant-Man and the Wasp, of course. Not as good as Ant-Man in my opinion. Captain Marvel. And finally Black Panther. So, I do have Deadpool 4K, but it doesn't seem to be here, so it must be in my other room. I'm going to show you my other room because this really is only a small section of my Blu-ray collection you've been seeing so far. I've got about 2,000 Blu-rays in another room, so I'm going to take you on a tour of that room, my Blu-ray library, my main Blu-ray library, on another video, so hopefully you can look forward to that. So moving on then, I have sort of the wildlife movies, David Attenborough, Dynasties. You have to have these on 4K. They're fantastic. Blue Planet 2. Planet Earth 2. Planet Earth never came out in 4K, unfortunately. Don't think it was filmed in 4K, to be honest. 7 Worlds, One Planet. And the recent one, A Perfect Planet. I think it's still available in HLG on iPlayer, so you can watch that in 4K on your iPlayer through your television app. Has to be through your iPlayer app though. Widows 4K. And now we're moving down to the shelf. There's Ready Player One. Great film this. I know they've announced Ready Player 2, or the book certainly. I imagine the movie will come out in due course. The Post, very good Steven Spielberg movie with 2 great performances from Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks. For music fans, The Greatest Showman. Now this one is interesting because this is the special box set that was first released with Close Encounters of the Third Kind. As you can see, it's a box, you'd lift the lid off like that, and then you get the Blu-ray inside, as you can see, in its slip cover. Multiple cuts of the film on that, of course, and you get a lovely glossy book, which is really nice. I'm going to show you that now. As you can see, just going through the book, a few pages, not all of it. And then the little trick that this has, of course, is this button. Which plays the 5 tones and lights up. Nice little touch, that. Nice little touch. They didn't have to do it, but they did, and I think it's a nice little set. It was quite expensive when it first came out, but I think it's gone right down in price now, and you can probably get it on eBay and places like that. Now the next one, I'm going to show you the inside of this one. This is the UK release box set of Blade Runner. Now for me, Blade Runner still remains the better of the 2 Blade Runner movies. Although I like 2049, Denis Villeneuve did a fantastic job with it. I'm going to show you that in a minute. The original from Ridley Scott still trumps it for me. It was just absolutely groundbreaking. Nobody liked it at the time, and it's become a cult science fiction favourite, possibly people's favourite science fiction movies in some respect. As you can see from the inside of the cover, very, very nice set out, of course, multiple cuts as well. And you have the final cut, which I think is the best version of the movie, I think, so far. And then, as alluded to a few seconds ago, there it is. That's the US release of Blade Runner 2049. I got that quite a few months before the UK release, simply again because I felt that I needed to see the movie. Having seen it in the cinema, I wanted to enjoy it in 4K on my television at the time. Then we have Cabin in the Woods, which is a super little sort of take on monster movies and the whole legend of the slasher film. Very, very clever indeed. Good war film this. Good central performance from Brad Pitt in Fury. The Commuter, he churns them out like hundreds a week almost. Another Liam Neeson movie, let's just say. Deepwater Horizon, good go-to guy Mark Wahlberg, and Deepwater Horizon's a good example of how well he does this sort of thing. I bought this purely out of curiosity. I'm not a massive Disney fan, to be honest. I've only got a couple of Disney 4Ks, but I just wanted to see what they did, really, with Mary Poppins. She's very good, Emily Blunt, but I just don't think it's as patchy on the original movie. You can't beat Julie Andrews. The original Halloween, fantastic transfer of this, I think. And then the more up-to-date Halloween, not so impressed with this, to be honest. They could have done better. A Simple Favour, nice little thing with Blake Lively in it. Quite amusing sort of thing for an hour and a half. Now we're into the DCs, starting with Shazam. Nice slipcover on this. Then we have Batman. Batman Returns. All with matching slips. I love the matching slip idea here. Batman and Robin. They're maybe not quite in order. And Batman Forever. Then we have Superman, the original, Christopher Reeve. Man of Steel. Managed to get that with a slip. Quite lucky there. It's not much of them around with slips now. Aquaman. Blaze of colour on this with HDR. Just jumps out of your television. Suicide Squad. It's alright. Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman 1984, of course, coming very soon to 4K. Watchmen, Ultimate Cut. This is the US release. Slightly less garish cover. There's yellow on it, but it's not all yellow and black like the UK release. Birds of Prey. I have to read this. And the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. I found this very funny. I just think it's a great sort of comedy movie. It's a bit of a romp, really. And if you take it as that, I think it's quite enjoyable. If you read too much into it, I think it doesn't deliver. So much excitement on this. What concerns me a bit is, of course, it's a Zack Snyder cut, but he hasn't filmed the entire movie again and brought all the actors back in. So there's going to be an awful lot of footage that was already there. I just hope he brings something new to the plate, basically. I mean, I don't know. I'm on the fence on this one. There's so much excitement about it, and everybody's dying to see it. But 4 hours, seriously? Do we really want it to last 4 hours? Anyway, there you are, Justice League. Then we have Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. This is the Ultimate Edition. Now we come to the Nolans. And this is the box set of The Dark Knight. Nice films, beautifully produced on 4K. Of course, all the sound is a 5.1. Nolan doesn't do immersive sound at all. Nice one. I got the cover for this as well, the Prestige. One of my favourites, Inception. My favourite one from Nolan, this, Interstellar. Love this film. Dunkirk, mostly shot in IMAX. Possibly all shot in IMAX, actually, I believe. And Tenet. A lot of hate on Tenet. I think a lot of people sort of maybe didn't give it a proper sort of assessment the first time they saw it. And I think when they saw it the second time, they maybe bumped their scores up slightly. I liked it the first time I saw it. I must admit I did struggle with it though, because it bombards you in the cinema and I came out with sore ears like everybody else. But having watched it and controlling the sound in my own living room, I found it absolutely fascinating the second time around, and I saw so much more and paid so much more attention the second time round because I had the benefit of knowing what to watch for, if you know what I mean. Tenet. Then we have Skyscraper. Good romp this. He does this stuff well, doesn't he? Dwayne Johnson hanging off buildings. There you go. Right, on to the next lot. Transformers Last Night. I bought this basically before I bought the Transformers box set. You'll see that in the box set 4K collection video coming up next. But obviously it's an absolute turkey. The picture and sound's amazing, but the storyline's terrible. One that maybe you don't know exists in the US on 4K. It's come out in Blu-ray in the UK. A nice little film, this. Sort of you know, about a gay relationship between people, and it's Love, Simon. This one is interesting. Steven Soderbergh directed this. It only came out in 4K in the US. I don't know, did we get a Blu-ray in the UK? I'm not even sure we did that. But anyway, it's an interesting little film. It's a psychological thriller. Has Claire Foy, of course, from The Crown in it. And the thing was, he sort of augmented Apple iPhone cameras and shot with Apple iPhones. Obviously, the technology was upgraded a bit, but it's still not shot on conventional cameras. It's shot completely digitally on iPhones, and it looks absolutely superb. Great Oscar-winning performance from Gary Oldman in this. Classic now. Darkest Star. He's fantastic as Churchill. Sound on this was amazing. A Quiet Place. Looking forward to the sequel immensely. Can't wait to get that on 4K when it eventually arrives. Probably about a year from now, given the release date of the film. This is the 4K of Parasite. I've bought Parasite I don't know how many times. I bought the Blu-ray of Parasite not long after it got the Oscar. I had to see it. Everyone was raving about it. Then they brought the Steelbook out of Parasite, and I bought that as well. And I bought the 4K of Parasite when it came out. And I bought the Criterion of Parasite when it came out because of the commentary. And you know what? I don't care. You know, why not? You know? Girl on a Train. I think the book must be better than the film. The film disappointed me, and my mum read the book and was raving about the book, and when she saw the film she was disappointed as well. So I actually think, although she's very good in it, it's Emily Blunt again, isn't it? Yeah, she's very good in it. I don't think it's anywhere near as good as the book. Now there's boxes of these, of course, that came out. Now I missed them. I should have bought them when they were released in box sets. Now they cost an arm and a leg. It's the Carpenter movies. So we've got Escape from New York. Nice slipcover design here. The Fog. Prince of Darkness. At least I got them all with slips. Bought them on Zoom. You know, the 2 for $20 thing. They Live. Now, I'm not going to show all these individual films because everybody has shown them on previous videos and everybody knows what they look like. It's the Star Wars. I have them all. I have all of the 9 films plus Rogue One and Solo. Enough said. On we go. So, moving on past Star Wars then. Baby Driver. Nice slipcover with this, and of course that a great Edgar Wright film. This is the American release of American Assassin. Great role in this from Michael Keaton. Really enjoyed him in this. Life. Good role from Jake Gyllenhaal. Good little science fiction movie this. Bohemian Rhapsody. Fantastic role, of course, Oscar winning for Rami Malek. The only thing that bothered me, as a lot of people who are big Queen music fans, they didn't look at the downward spiral that he had when he contracted AIDS. They left it sort of very much ambiguous and not really covered, and therefore don't think it did the man justice. But it was meant for a general Hollywood audience, and as such I can see why they did it. Brightburn, really clever take on Dark Superman here. There's been Dark Superman animated movies, I think, as well. And of course, was it Superman 3 was the dark one? The original Reeves Superman, he turned nasty in that. This is very good, about the boy as Superman and him sort of discovering he has powers, but he wants to turn them for evil use instead of good use. Another Duncan Jones movie, Moon. Fantastic performance from Sam Rockwell in this. Really took me by surprise, this movie. Phantom Thread, the last performance from Daniel Day-Lewis. Great score from this, Johnny Greenfield in this. Fantastic. And then we have Apes, sort of sequels, I suppose you call them. We've got Rise of Planet of the Apes, Dawn of Planet of the Apes, and of course War of Planet of the Apes. I love Woody Harrelson in War of Planet of the Apes. Then we have, I don't know why I bought this. He's off the franchise now, so thankfully there won't be any more. Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, I think this is called Salazar's Revenge in America. We got Dead Men Tell No Tales. This is the American release, but for some reason it doesn't mention Salazar's Revenge on it anywhere. But there you go. Or maybe it's over here, it's called Salazar's Revenge. Then we have the Alien movies. Alien on 4K. Fantastic transfer. So pleased that eventually came to us on 4K. Come on, where's the Aliens, guys? Come on, Cameron, get your shift on here. Prometheus, fantastic movie, I love this. Not so keen on Alien Covenant, but I know he felt he had to make it. He wanted to continue the story. He's trying to bring it up to when we met the Nostromo. I don't know if he's going to be allowed to now after that wasn't successful, Alien Covenant. Yesterday, very little clever take on a guy who can sing all the Beatles songs in a world that the Beatles didn't exist in. Very, very clever. Schindler's List, one you've got to have in your collection. Transfer's amazing. Spielberg's best movie as far as I'm concerned. Absolutely superb performances from everybody in this film. Even the smallest roles are fantastic. Ad Astra. A bit of an enigma, this one. I think it's a film that you sort of either on the fence about or really, really like. I'm sort of on the fence with it. Brad Pitt did very well with it, but I'm not so sure that it developed properly as a film goes. And we got the 4 Bonds. I got them all from America because they came out earlier in America than the UK. And again, I'm just very impatient with this sort of stuff. So we got Casino Royale. Of course, the nice thing is you don't get on the slipcovers of the American releases for Bond, you don't get the certificates, which is nice. Then we have Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, and Spectre. And of course what I'm going to have to do now is buy the American release of the new film when it eventually comes out. Eventually. No time to die, because obviously I have to. Otherwise the collection won't look right. Well, that brings me to the end of part 2. In part 3 I'm going to finish my 4K collection and show you the box sets. I've been buying an awful lot of box sets in the last year, and you'll be quite impressed hopefully with a closer look at some of those. Please like, subscribe and comment, and I do appreciate your comments especially, so please take time to comment, and I'll see you on the next one.